Hey guys, we're back. We're out working in the field with my 9-year-old Teddy. And I had promised that I would show you a really fun exercise that I've started working with him that I think will be really useful to a lot of horses out there. So this horse showed 3rd level last year, so he's got really nice solid changes on him in both direction. We have been working on introducing the tempi changes, and he can do them, and he can do them clean, but sometimes his rideability suffers. And so what I've really needed to work on is that rideability between the changes. And with that, you know, him staying on my aids. So sometimes he wants to get a little bit lazy, or sometimes he wants to go, you know, overpower me. And I really need to have the rideability to have a really nice line of changes. So we are not there yet where we can have a line of changes. We can definitely do like 4-1 where you have 3 changes across the diagonal. He can totally do that. I've gotten 4 4s out of him and 4 3s out of him, and actually 2 2s out of him, but it's nowhere near show quality. So yeah, great, he understands how to do a change. Yeah, that's wonderful, but we need the rideability. And so there's a lot of really cool exercises for that, but I want to show you one that I think works really well for this horse, so that I can keep him adjustable, I can keep him forward, I can get a nice forward uphill change out of him, but then he doesn't overpower me. So I'm going to try and show that today in this exercise. And I basically am kind of doing, if you were in a dressage arena, which my dressage arena is small, so I don't have enough room lengthwise to do this exercise. So that's part of the reason why we're out here. But if you were in a dressage arena, really wouldn't be going from one long side to the next. I'd kind of be going either quarter line to quarter line, or maybe not 10 meters, maybe it would be 15 meters. Just giving myself room, but also not so much room that I'm just wasting time cantering. And so I'll kind of show you the exercise, and you'll see how he gets better and better the longer we do this exercise. So first of all, we got to get a little, I'm going to repeat that, but he's been walking for a while, and so yeah, there's better. A little strong in my hands. Could you please balance yourself up? Thank you. So this is where his laziness comes. So I'm going to kind of make a tight turn here. I'm going to go forward, 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 change. Good. And turn. This is going to look really sloppy to begin with. Forward, 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 change. Good. Turn. Good. Forward, 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 change. Good. Turn. Yeah. Forward, 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 change. Good. A little late. My 8. Turn, forward, forward, change. Good. So I'm going to do that. See how the turn makes him not overpower me. And then I have to ride forward to the change. Yeah. We're going to do that again, because at this point, we've done enough of them. He should be better on my aids. Come. Yeah. Pay attention. Yeah. Yeah. Forward, forward, half halt, change. That's gonna look really sloppy here. Forward, forward, half halt, change. Good. Turn. Forward, forward, half halt, change. Good. Turn. Forward, forward, half halt, change. Good. Forward, forward, half halt, change. Good. Ah, see, they're starting to get better because he's allowing me to ride forward into the change and he's taking the half halt. So we're turning forward, forward, half halt, change, change. Good. Turn, turn, turn. Gonna make the turn a little bit sharper. Turn, turn, turn. Good. Forward, forward, half halt, change. Turn, turn, turn. Forward, forward, half halt, change. Turn, turn, turn. Yeah. Forward, forward, half halt, change. To the right. If it's good, I'm gonna give him a walk break because this is a lot. Good. Forward, 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 half halt, change. Good. Good. So getting there, the rideability is getting there. What would happen before is he would do the change, but you'd see he'd get a little strong and a little up in the bridle and kind of like push past my aid, because when I wanted the nice big forward uphill canter, he took that and said, oh, let's do that, but I'm gonna flatten my back a little bit. His little weak spot. I'm gonna flatten my back a little bit and I'm gonna push into the change, out into the change instead of up into the change to make the change really big and beautiful. And we need to be able to get that impulsion going, that he makes the change nice and big and beautiful, but then he doesn't overpower me on the other side of it. So that's why this exercise works really well. So, and it gets better. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a walk break, I'll pick him back up, I'll do another, way down the field and then back. Because it just makes him, and at first, you're not as worried about the turn being perfect. You're worried about the change being perfect. You're worried about the change being forward, uphill, on your aid, and clean. And so you're worried about the setup for that. And then you start to worry about the collection and the turn after. So about the third line of them that I did was when then I was really like, okay, now you have to kind of make a quarter turn. So a pretty sharp turn to get back on a diagonal to do the change. And it's that turn allows me to can't just brace and go forward and push off and out, but that he actually has to bend and carry himself. And so the turn works for me, the straightaway works for me, and then all I have to do is make sure that I'm clear on my aid and that he's coming off of a fairly decent light aid, as far as that I'm not having to work really hard to get the change. You saw the one toward the end there where he was starting to get tired and he just totally was behind me, both in the timing, but also just, he kind of sucked back in the change, right? And so that's why I said, I'm gonna do one more that it was nice and forward, and then I'm gonna let him walk. It is hot out here today. So anyhow, that's a really, I feel for this horse, an important exercise in the changes to give me that rideability, to give me that ability to sit him and then send him forward into the change and then sit him and then send forward into the change. And eventually we'll be able to get rid of the turn and have less turn. And so instead of turning, say, 45 degrees or 90 degrees, or, like we're going to be able to, because literally we're kind of going 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Sometimes when he isn't 100% like totally there yet, it's not quite 90, which is why I like having this big open field. But eventually you'll be able to take that turn out, and you'll be able to just think of maybe a 30-degree turn, or and then a 10, and then a no turn, and you'll have that rideability where he's able to come back to you and then go forward again into the change, and then come back to you for the setup. And that, you're not going to have that like when you do the tempies, you want to just keep cantering and temp, you know, and just have them do the change. But when they're learning it, it's still a setup for him. He still just can't throw out a change, you know, on a whim. I just can't slide my leg back, and he'd be like, oh yeah, I still have to set him up. And this gives me that opportunity to set him up in a way that really helps him understand the change, and how to do sequences of change and be successful at them and start to be comfortable with them. So there's other exercises for the tempi changes, but I find that that's the one that I've developed that works best for this horse and his anatomy and his conformation and how he wants to use himself. So I hope that's helpful. Always, whenever I start talking about changes, I always get questions where people are like, oh my gosh, how do I teach my horse to change? So let me just talk about that really quickly. You have to first have a good quality canter with that adjustability. Some horses are going to be easier to teach changes to than others. Horses that have a nice big stride and such are a little bit easier because they have the air time to be able to have the timing to switch their legs. But of course, as you see with him, sometimes it's like having that reactivity to not get slow and lazy about them. But your biggest thing is you really want to be able to have really nice walk canter walks. You really want to be able to go walk, canter, walk, counter canter, walk, canter, walk, counter canter. You really want to have the adjustability of the hind legs that you can move them around, and adjustability of the front end that you can move it around. And then there is, you know, I know of 10 exercises off the top of my head, depending on the horse's anatomy and their sort of bent in life and how they want to go, of just different exercises that help them understand the change. I'm not a big proponent of over the pole. There's a lot of people do that, and it teaches their horses to go late behind. So there is a lot of different exercises to play with. And yeah, maybe I haven't done that video in a really long time, so I might have to reshoot that video and go over those 10 exercises. So that's future video to be done. Okay, I hope that's really helpful. So if your horse doesn't know the changes, just kind of write this all down and bookmark it for future. If your horse, you know, knows the changes and you're starting to play around with this, you don't have to do 10. You can do 2. You know, you can do 3. You can really kind of keep it simple and just be able to, you know, just ask for more than one change across the diagonal or one change down the long side. And you really want to start to ask for your changes in different places so that it's not just a change of direction. That's another thing that's really important for horses that struggle with the changes. Okay, yeah, there's a lot to say there, a lot to unpack. So future videos is all I have to say, because we could probably make 10 with everything that I just said right there. So thanks guys for watching. See you next time.